Very big personalities.
Pulling pranks. I think like he's look at Bobby's tweet. I think it was like one Carlos or one of the players was like knocking on Bobby's door at 7 a.m. That's bound to translate into their play style. Reply Totem on the other end. So this morning I'm walking through the hotel, right? There's like a kids area. It had some like little TVs, cartoons are on there, whatever. The whole kids area is taken up by Reply Totem in their black hoodies and black sweatpants with their iPads out, and they're just getting ready. And I said, so this is for maybe people a little bit younger. He's like, listen, we couldn't find the right kind of venue to get everyone together, so we ended up here. I said, but little Timmy wants to watch Shrek. No, not having it. They are very, very serious, and they really wanted to make sure their prep was nailed down.
That's dedication for you, isn't it? Work never stops, and ultimately you've got to, make the most of every opportunity. Yeah, exactly. And there are a lot of screaming kids around here in Disneyland Paris, I can assure you. So definitely not the most calm of environments for them to be able to perform under.
So Inso, again, sort of relying on some of our conversations with them. This one actually came up in an interview. Shout out to Lucas BS who put the magazine together.
Incredible stuff.
For the World Finals. So big shout out to you. Inso says he thinks that the winner, this is getting ahead of himself. He says the winner of Reply Totem versus Zeta Division 1 will win Worlds. That's obviously assuming that Reply Totem advanced past this match, which I think is a big leap to take, but he really thinks that side of the bracket, this first 4 games has some of the top teams in there. I'm so ready to get this one on.
Yeah, layer cake and bounty is where it's going to go down. But in that same idea, I've got to bring it back around. So October, this was the map that led Bax versus Reply Totem into the 3rd set. So this is definitely going to bring back some memories. It was such a clutch finale, and it brought things enough time back in for Bax to get that comeback. So they've got to shake that one off.
And that was a crazy game down to the final seconds where 15 stars changed hands here. Let's talk bans.
I think they're smart. Reply Totem banning out Ashe is a great way to start because Vatra are going to bring in some tanky ideas. They know that. We haven't seen any of Buster today despite being banned, but Vatra feel like it is definitely a worthy one to ban here. I for one agree. Max again, a great aggressive idea that Reply Totem would normally like to
кому-то говорю одному человеку, это, наверное, который носок.
I do feel that is the right approach. Penny as well can get a lot of value from that turret for Vatra. They don't want to deal with that.
Подожди, пока кто-то подтянется.
I feel like we see the tick come in here pretty much all the time. I like the idea of also taking Janna off the table, right? Really safe, really sort of, middle of the road kind of brawler that again when you get pressured you've got all the stars, you can just get out there and get back to sort of safety. It's also the kind of reason why Piper is valued here as well. Pinch, popping gets you out of trouble, and that's why she's going to get picked here. Oh, I look so smart. Oh my god.
Speaking of the devil, great stuff. I mean, that is a scary one because Piper in the North America and Latin North region really is a common one to have, and Tick very susceptible to that same idea. So I think that is a great way to start, honestly. Again, Reply Totem now are in a bit of a troublesome position because they can't then break open the map and apply even more ability for Vatra to have dominance.
You want to give them the sight lines, right?
Exactly that. I wonder if they might combine the Ruffs with this as well, because ultimately over time in layer cake is where a brawler like Ruffs gets so much value. Otis is where they want to go, and I think that's a good place to start.
And you want the option to go all in. You just want a really strong brawler when it comes to fighting over that middle part of the map and maybe try to push for the blue star. Otis is your brawler. Mute, we've already seen it be very effective so far, but Carl definitely returning to Flavor of the Month status here.
Gene coming in as well. I mean, Carl was Reply Totem's most used brawler this year, and it's normally Joker who plays it. Again, that aggressive nature that he has, very similar to the Division 1.
Players on that mid-range brawler. It's so exciting to see. Daryl gets picked up here for Vatra. Again, last pick, that pick 6. Tell us about this pick from Juan Carlos.
Well, like we saw previously, in that last matchup with Zeta and Chazmac, the Otis was a great counter. So I like what Vatra have done by picking Otis first. It's not giving much away, and then seeing what they're up against. This could be the very brawler which is going to keep Reply Totem in that back spawn area. Sure, you can feed a lot of value into Mari, so he has magic hand, but you can just work your way forwards.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Reply Totem versus Vatra Gaming starts now, and Joker's already stepped himself up the blue star.
Yeah, great stuff from him. I mean, ultimately, that's going to give them somewhat of an early advantage, but Vatra are going to fight back with aggression. They're not going to let it go down to a one-star situation. They're starting to position themselves very cautiously. They don't want to feed too much into Maori either.
Super gear picked up here for that Otis, so that mute coming
Где люди?
10%
Пин работает.
Okay, Vatra Gaming really want to try to close the gap here. They've got RBM. He's the cat amongst the pigeons, and in he goes. Mari getting pressured down. He tries to take a shot. Gonna be a trade. RBM comes out. That That is stunning stuff.
Really was beautiful work there to
О,
connect that and
люди
to bring back
подкатились.
that bounty.
Я секрет, здорово.
Maneuver there from Mara, and he has got to keep landing balls just like that, but RBM cycling the aggression now a bit too low, and Joker capitalizes down, furthering the lead there.
Ребятки, пин работает, кто не нажимал пин, пин работает.
Fantastic gadget use there, can give you more of that super, let you sort of snowball out of control, but he overextended. Joker wanted a bit of pain there, but he might get it. Not the way he expected.
Ой-ой-ой, лицо. Ты что ты делаешь, дурачок, Всех задрали.
That's absolutely dirty. Joker thought he had the jump on him there, and he gets silenced instantly. Vatra now, 25 seconds left in the round. They had the lead, but RBM's trying to push back a little bit here. That extra durability was super helps, but it's not enough now. 2 stars in, Vatra with the blue still.
Тяни кого-нибудь. Подожди, подожди. А, они даже если его убьют, не выиграют. Все, 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 слили. Слили. Ой-ой-ой, звезда! Была бы звезда. Печально.
Oh my goodness me! What a close one to start this one off. And this is what we said coming in. This is very much a 50-50 matchup.
Yeah, hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. We are in for an absolute no-holds-barred brawl, and pun very much intended. What an exciting way to finish that round.
Let's see now how this one fares. The bat splatter early on.
Пин — это вот эта вот фигня, рисуночек, вот эта рожица, вот опять он работает. Вот это вот пин в левом нижнем углу. Зависимо от кого, за кого проголосовали. Если вы ни за кого не проголосовали, у вас будет светиться 2 пина, вот этот и вот этот. Если вы нажмете на какой-то из них, будет светиться только какой-то один из них.
Maru will probably get plenty of supers as a result there. Joker cops a glancing blow from the Piper in mid. Will back away for a time, but Vatra have the lead despite not having the blue star. Here comes the dagger roll. Going to be responded to by a tailspin. Joker trying to deal with him, and RBM's out of the picture already.
Yeah, a little bit overzealous there for me. Just a little bit. It was a 1 versus 3, and despite RBM being able to cycle, actually, I mean, it did great to get the value actually to do so. But you know, they've got to be a bit cautious. They've got to combine that aggression with some calculative ideas a little bit.
Пин работает? Нет, не работает. Но он работал. Так что нажимайте на пин. Если кто сейчас еще не нажимал на пин, последние 3 минуты нажимайте на пин. Вот этот пин в левом нижнем углу. Если вы ни за кого не голосовали, он будет либо красным справа, либо синим слева, на который вы нажмете, такой только и останется. Понял. У меня 345. Ну, тебе повезло из-за того, что я тебе подсказал. У нас было одинаково, но я тебе подсказал из-за того, что эта хрень была сверху. Тогда. Ну что, тогда второй матч первого сета они выиграют. Ой-ой-ой, лицо. Ну это не страшно, если этого убьют, но все это ГГ. Да.
Great resolve there from Reply Totem, just putting the confidence into the composition.
Вы видели вот это? А тот ему вот этого. Что он туда занюхнул? Это в этом уже история умалчивает.
Scary how durable Joker is compared to RBM. When that fight actually happens, it's pretty hard to get rid of the Carl, and Carl gets damaged while having that extra durability. RBM.
Так, пин работает. Пин работает, ребят.
There was a beautiful gadget there of the last hurrah to stay alive there. Keeps the stars for Totem.
It's all gone wrong. Payne's trying to posture aggressively here, but not a great position to be in now. He is the pigeon amongst the cats, apparently. Gets out there with the super, though, back to safety. Vatra have to regroup.
Завершение работы.
their time, and they know that they can get the steal. Joker though is weak here, and they're in a great position there from RBM, forcing Joker forward, but now he's found some space on the right, and oh, great magic hand connection there from Maori. 7 stars to 0. Batra are starting.
Пока что пин не работает.
RBM had that he's very low. Maori's able to pick him up. That's a crucial elimination. 10-2 in stars. Now we had under a minute left. Decent lead for Reply Totem here. Pain has to be really afraid of those tick supers. They're really hard to deal with.
Oh, beautiful stuff. Great takedown. Everyone harnessing on the weak link. Juan Carlos is doing his best from the left. Oh, again, Maru. What a time tick head that really was. Taking it and Pain can't do much about it.
Yeah, now RBM wants to move up. Magic hand. They won the Daryl. And they break him down to boards and rings.
Это ты смотришь меня, Артем? Ты меня сейчас смотришь на ютубе? Если да, то нас 2 человека. Я с телефона и ты. Нет, да не знаю. Кто смотрит меня? Завис.
The scariest part of that, though, was that the number of stars that were available in that final push. Batra could have got a steal. It could have been a tie yet again. That blue star surely would have been in their pocket of the back of it, but this is what I love.
Первый сет туда, синий.
For a team that have really struggled at the start of the year to find themselves in such a way, they've got that experience that when under pressure, they're able to look around. That was beautiful transactions there.
You see how quickly the blue star changing hands there, and the round that was as close as that was, that's critical. Joker tries to go aggressive, flying hook there, but it's pretty telegraphed, right? An opportunity for Otis just to use that super, shut the Carl down. But I'm going to be honest with you, Carl may as well be a tank. In fights like that, as soon as RBM tries to engage, it's a tailspin, protected pirouette, super hard to bust him up, and I don't blame them for being excited about how this first set has gone.
Great energy from Joker, and again, we were saying coming into this match just how reserved they've been around the hotel, and that's what we're waiting to see. It's really fantastic stuff. Oh my word, look at that. Yeah. Maori, 10 takedowns, Pain with 0 as well. Got to point that out too. Struggled a little bit there. Just couldn't quite find the momentum, the pacing. But Joker with the 5, Maori with the 2, but Reply Totem just really worked so well as a unit in that set.
And again, they have to group up with RBM. Look, there needs to be follow-up when RBM goes in. You can see he's really designed to maybe take down a
Так тебе, а ты за чьи деньги заказал микрофон? На родителей или за свои?
The most damage, which is no shock because he's always in those fights, and again, he's looking to be the boogeyman of the metagame here at the World Finals.
Те родители обещали купить.
So self-aware, when you're a Carl player, you've got to time those aggressive ideas. Otherwise, you can be feeding stars into your opposition. The controlling element as well. A lot of the pressure of those situations was down to him to keep that Daryl at bay.
It's like a real captain's role, doesn't it?
Yeah.
At least it's emerged that way so far. We're off to heist next, ladies and gentlemen. This is Reply Totem's best game type, an 89% win rate in sets. Gotta be feeling good after snatching away that first set too.
Bands are in as well. Colette,
B
and Brock for Reply Totem. An early draft of Ruffs for Vatra, and I like that. In safe zone, we see a lot of long range, slow, kind of aggressive lanes and mids. So having Ruffs to be able to bring in the supply drops in over time, the longer the match goes on, the stronger your team get. So I think that's going to be a great start for them. I think the Buzz ban is a great idea as well, because Reply Totem really love to bring in Buzz here in safe zone. 8-bit coming in for Reply Totem.
So those quad barrel stacks in the middle part of the map are actually pretty important to get rid of, because it allows mid laners to assist with the side lane matchups a lot of the time. So Pain might look to try and remove those fairly early, at least the one on Vatra's side of the map. Okay, our first griff of the day getting picked up here by Maru.
Купишь себе телефон тогда новый.
I've got to say, one that is often used in the North America and Latin North region as well, because they just seem to have an understanding as to how good it can be. I feel like they might go in with Piper here on the side of Vatra, or Bell even, because combining those rough supply drops with long-range sharpshooters, despite having the 8-bit turrets, on the side, it is going to be Bell. I mean, it's great. I mean, having the nest egg in the mid is going to slow the advance, and and forcing out Joker to have that damage booster on the ground. They can utilize that sure for a bit of defensive capability, but ultimately, as an 8-bit, without that, you're pretty slow and sluggish.
Really enjoying this draft from both sides so far, actually. Nothing too wacky here, just some very solid, very dependable, serviceable brawlers. Seeing the 8-bit from Joker, I mean, if that's where he ends up going, it's a real opportunity to make flashy plays with cheat cartridge moving around the map. So you round this out with Lola again, really reasonable, sort of mid to long range kind of brawler. And again, she hits like an absolute truck when the Megalomania is active.
Yeah, it's a great pairing. Often we see that kind of Belle and Lola idea coming into force. It hasn't been so heavily utilized recently in the EMEA region on this particular map, but I admire that coming in with it. I think many
наконец-то начнется игра через несколько секунд. В ближайшую минуту так точно. Надеюсь. Бонни. Да, по-моему, 15 или 30 секунд дают подготовку. О, теперь у этих 4, этих 4.
But then when you can dive in all in that safe and really start to break it down. Shitampo especially showed us some flashy moments on that pick. So you got what you wanted. You got a little bit more range here for this composition. How do you feel these stack up?
I think it's going to be quite close. I think that if Batra can just keep Reply Totem away from their safe and keep the spawn cycle in their favor, that's going to be the key. Ultimately, having that 8-bit, really can gain so much damage. With that damage booster, maybe even a damage gear, and extra credits on the safe, you're going to be piling in so much damage. Batra cannot afford that.
And Maru instantly opens up the right-hand side of the map with that piggy bank here, just to make sure he can stand toe-to-toe with RBM. Maori here, scary prospect, slow but pretty durable as far as hard hitters go. And there's that first stack destroyed here. Opens up the mid now for Pain to assist in the side lanes.
Great connection there from Maori, honestly. Everything really laying into Pain. But with the cover down, it is going to expose the damage booster on the aggressive side of things for Reply Totem. So they do have to time that carefully, get some takedowns and make sure that Vajra haven't really got a response. It's a 3% lead so far, just a little bit, but it would be enough if the timer runs out.
The real power play moment for Maori here, of course, who not only is getting his damage boosted, but also the speed. So makes it a little bit easier to juke these shots coming in from Pain, or so we thought. Now Pain can step up, get rid of that.
Ребятки, нажимайте пин. Кто еще не нажимал? Пусть они пока что ведут, но на 3%. Вова сейчас это исправит быстро. Туда Бонни полетела, хорош. Ой-ой-ой, дамаг пошел.
Yeah, he's got to make a decision now, a bit of damage, but still very high in HP. RBM, though, could go down if he's not careful.
Ой-ой, сейчас лицо, по-моему, сломается, да-да-да. Я бы надамажил бы сейф. Ну, сейчас этот счет исправят. Все, счет исправили. Им надо за 9 секунд ударить по ихнему сейфу и как минимум не получить удар. Ой-ой-ой-ой! Туда, ничья. Первый раунд ничья. Повезло. Я по здоровью считал, честно. Там 34,5, ну, нечестно.
How often do you see this? How often do you see a draw on heist?
At that kind of stage, so rare. It really is. You can get a draw at 0% to 0%. That's actually sometimes more common, to be completely honest.
Повезло людям, ну что еще сказать.
It just goes to show the awareness, doesn't it, of both teams. They're timing their runs, but ultimately that 1% for Maori there was so clutch.
RBM able to help out in mid, start to collapse here. Leaving two players up for Reply Totem right now. Vatra takes a bit of that early damage, just 3%. Maru's struggling to deal with RBM, and when Pain gets involved, it's almost unwinnable.
Keeping Maori back and trying to get the angle between Carlos and Pain. Carlos with the pickup. Very stuck with him.
Пинчик не работает пока что. Но кто не нажимал минут 5 назад, нажимаете. Я думаю, что сольют синий раунд этот вообще полностью. Весь гем сольют, я уверен. У них плохо получается. Пик хороший, играю. Нет. Это точно не ты меня смотришь на сок? Потому что от меня только что 2 человека ушло, и я 2 остается постоянно.
I've got to say, you know, for Vatra there, that could have gone from bad to worse. They were able to secure the kills. They needed to deflate the aggressive nature of that push from Reply Totem as such. They're able to reserve some valuable HP on that save there. Great takedown on the left here. Maori is now pressurizing it. Joker as well. It's just so dangerous. Spawning, isn't he?
It's very dangerous here, Arc now.
Завтра можно апнуть, в принципе, на изи.
Vatra not taking any damage on the safe in that foray, so Maori forced to respect the defenders here. RBM gets a nice licking there on Mari. It's going to slow him down. As Joker trying to command some presence in the mid. There's been a lane switch.
And Juan Carlos has been doing work. Everyone is souped up as a result of those supply drops now, and this is why we're seeing some swifter takedowns as the Reply Totem struggling just a little bit. And if they go down in this mid, it's going to be more damage for Vatra. Placing them on the back foot.
I love that supply drop on the enemy save from Juan Carlos there. Get a bit of cheeky 3%. This puts Vatra now in a bit more of a comfortable position, but that might not last. Oh, Maori! A salvo drops Vatra safe below totems, and now it's going
Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой! Ой-ой-ой! Ой-ой-ой, вот это дамаг! Блин, повезло.
But what a close one. It was honestly, for me, from Reply Totem there, genius. The way they slowly stagger towards the safe mid, they were just constantly keeping Vatra, having to defend the situation. They couldn't go on the aggressive.
Yeah, really safe approach to that round there. You kind of thought that Mari was looking to apply pressure with the 8-bit there by throwing that damage amp forward, but he actually sort of backs off, and Joker's all in, gives them the buffer they need to win the round.
Well, one nest egg down there for Pain early on. Looking to get that set up again to get the most amount of value from the Ruffs. Reply Totem as well. Slow and steady.
Так.
You can afford to do
Ребятки, пин работает, нажимайте пин, если вы ни за кого не голосовали, либо он в левом нижнем углу синий, либо в правом нижнем углу красный. Нажимайте на пин. Пин работает.
Nest egg right there in the middle means the Joker needs to be careful of approaching in Megalovania. Yep, going to make it RBM, flattening Joker. And he's going to be able to move in here and take down the damage amp. Now Mari is untethered and doesn't have that speed boost any longer.
Maru going to choose to break on the left-hand side, and I think that's the wise choice. Sandbags will help out a little bit for defensiveness as Pain comes in to help, but not going to be able to secure it. As Mari now spawning back in. Pain low and goes down, making it that 3 versus 2 that they were dreading.
Vatra unable to take advantage of Maori being out of the game for a while, and now this might come back to hurt them. But Megalovania popped again in RBM, pressuring that safe down.
Вроде пока что не работает пинчик. Ну, я думаю, что для тотемчика этот сет удачно пройдет. Если они заберут еще и Brawl, то мы увидим самую быструю игру, я думаю, на чемпе. Но сейчас для них дела идут нехорошо, они на 11% опаздывают. Честно. Если что, подписывайтесь, там нужно быть подписчиком 1 минуту, и тогда вы сможете писать в чатик. Чатик читаю, всем отвечаю. Всем, кто пишет.
Pain able to find Joker now, and you can collapse on Maru, who's in a lot of danger. Reply Totem need to find a way to make up this deficit.
Я проголосовал за Трайба, естественно. Трайхардик, здорово.
See, Vatra, I like the way they came back there. They can afford to. They've got the lead, but they've got to defend this. They can't drop the ball here. The jumping from Joker is there. And he does survive it. 2 versus 3. Great takedowns from RBM.
Ой, хорош!
It's going to be so close. Again. No way! No way, it can't, surely!
Ей! Выиграли! Хорош! Лучшие! Второй сет выиграли еле-еле. Боже, ни на чем. Фу. Они тоже офигели от жизни. Осталось Brawl, ребятки. Осталось Brawl забрать и все.
But it's Mari saving the day, walks on up there with 8-bit, plants himself down and says, that safe belongs to me.
Забирайте Brawl Ball и все. Победа ваша. Да, я тоже за тотем, за это. Завтра тоже стримить и после тоже буду. Но завтра обязательно я буду стримить Нами просто вперед. Нави вперед. Навсегда. Нави forever.
This was really foreshadowed by both coaches coming into this game saying, we think we're like each other's mirror image. You know what I mean? Like from different regions across, across the Atlantic Ocean, we really feel like we have the same style. But look at this, by the way. Everyone's trying to body block from Mari's damage, but he just gets enough there with the last couple of seconds of the round. I mean, you can't break this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. That was absolutely stunning, and yeah. Look at the amount of damage, by the way, that Vatra are able to do by comparison and still...
Просто лучше, нет слов. Молодцы. Зашли, вышли, победили. Крутые, просто лучшие. Через 2 минуты увидим броубольчик. Да, согласен с тобой, Носок. Плотно, капец. Просто 8 бит ни на чем вытащил. Там 2-3 пульки попало вообще еле-еле. Короче, если сейчас синие выиграют, то все. Эти отправляются домой. Ватра додомся. И 400 штук прощай. Так, это повтор, ребята. Потому что геймграб это до этого. Сейчас у нас Brawl. Боль. Так, ну что-то они попутались. Сейчас идет это самое Brawl Ball. Они попутали чуть-чуть. Тут не должно быть геймграба. Называется Йоу Мама Инженер.
Carl going to come in, and we've seen a lot of that particular brawler today.
I mean, he is just absolutely insane, especially when it comes to the old go aggressive strategy. Penny here coming in, so we've actually seen her ban a couple of times, but now Vatra decide it's time to go for it.
Yeah, and the pairing again between the Jean and the Carl, getting that magic hand to connect, and then having Carl just really come in and ensure that swift takedown. I'm kind of curious as to how Reply to we're going to tie up this comp. I've not really seen them run this before in Pinhole Punt.
Бастер зашел. Бастер залетает. Хорош чилы.
And I'm sure many at home wondering like how it's taken this long to see it.
Give us the lowdown on Buster for those maybe not super familiar with this newest brawler.
If it's got its shield up, just stop shooting. Just don't feed into it because it's going to reflect back and cause the damage to yourselves, and that is going to then allow your team to have a great push going forwards in Brawl Ball. It's a real menace. It's had obviously a recent nerf, but it's still in a very good place.
Давайте, ребята, я вас верю. Пол почки на вас поставил, а Носок поставил почку. Проиграет вообще все. Что жил то даром? Да, Носок. Пин работает, ребят. Носок. Ты ж почку поставил или 2? Он 3 почки поставил. А я почки, сердце. Легкие. Желудок вообще все поставил. Хату, дом. Что жил, короче, это даром, если проиграет. Толтон. Чел в штольне апает динамайки. И не в дуо, а в соло. Не, ну в соло там тоже, конечно, метатели, но там играть надо уметь тоже. Давайте третий сет выиграете и все. И я вас люблю. Давайте, ребят, пожалуйста.
Reply Totem had the map control, but they can't convert it into a goal. So that's definitely going to be at the top of their to-do list now as they approach. Maru just flattens RBM. Maru also trying to peek in from the left-hand side. That's a magic hand connection, and Vatra now can start to work.
Yeah, that's great from Pain.
Топ-1 занял, хорош чел.
Already started to deflate a lot of this aggressive nature of Reply Totem. So far they've been keeping Vatra back this entire game, but they haven't been able to get a goal yet, and I think that says quite a lot for this situation.
They don't have any real terrain destruction ability here. That definitely might hurt them. They have to score a goal via more conventional means here. Definitely looking for an absolute team wipe before they can advance. Oh, that could be dangerous. All right. Maru falls back. Tailspin there from RBM. Knows he has the durability. Honey Molasses thrown down, and Mari's good on the conversion.
Mari is playing a great game, honestly. And in overtime as well, he's going to thrive. That's the problem. And he just keeps connecting these shots. Pain has to go back now, but low HP means that he's going to have to reconsider it a little bit.
All right, some of the map getting opened up a little bit more now, but it's Mari v. Juan Carlos. Maru not in a position, rather, to do much with the ball. You're not going to walk.
Туда!
Oh, what?
Туда!
Are you kidding?
Туда! Первый раунд третьего сета выигран. Туда Батов.
But that was why Reply Totem kept that control for such a long time. It just meant that it just dwindled down slowly but surely, and now Vatra are in a world of hurt.
You didn't even look surprised there,
You've got to think about the late game.
All right, RBM starting strong this time around, finding two big pickoffs. Great opening here. It should be a comfortable one for Vatra. Can they get there with Maru? Yep.
Блин, забили гол в самом начале. Нашим носок. По ты почку, а ты 3 почки поставил. Проиграют, минус почки. Что жил ударом? Ему пофиг. Так пин работает. Для носка не работает, для остальных работает. Ярик, здорово. Пришел Ярик. Где был? А, точно, тебя мама загнала. А что это ты тут встал, а? Сейчас маме расскажу. Носок разрывал. Лучше просто. Honey Molasses thrown down the left-hand side. One Carlos sheepishly having to back away now under the effect of that slow. Юморист
He wants to get aggressive.
Что мне за 400 дадут? Звездочки. Оу! Я пропустил, конечно, но, наверное, эпично его забили. Если сейчас забьют, то это просто... Это быстрейшая победа в истории. Те играли час. 4 сета. Эти за 40 минут выиграли 3 сета подряд. Если выиграют, то это просто это GG. Главное, чтобы 4 сета не было, потому что будет жопа. Я не хочу 4 сета сидеть. Давайте, ребят. Третий сет выигрываете. И все. Давайте, ребятки, еще дополнительное время. У вас минута 30 секунд. Берите, как говорится, take your time, блин. Ярик, носок говорит, иди спать, а то мама первый раз одеялом накрыла, потом папаша придет. Давайте, ребятки, у вас ровно сейчас минутка будет. Давайте. Ярик ржет. Ребята, take your time, блин, минута. А эти даже не хотят забивать. Он даже не заморочился мяч перебросить вдаль. Мне разрешили не спать. Понял, лошара? Он сказал, что тебе по зубам дали, теперь ты ржешь. Блин, давайте, 15 секунд, алло!
Dangerous, could be dangerous here. RBM on the ball though. 8 seconds left in the round. Here comes Payne, trolling down the middle part of the map, but
А, ничья! Это идеально! Это идеальный замес. Идеально, но ничья. Если сейчас будет, если они сейчас выиграют, это топ. Ребятки, у вас сейчас будет 3 минуты 30 секунд. Давайте отыгрываемся. Тотемчик лучший, просто. Так, что тут носок бесит? Я разрешил спать в 8 вечера. Ярик, научи. Ярик, он хочет, чтобы ты ему чему-то научил. Не знаю чему, но да. Так это работает в нашем мире. Что тебе научить? Чтоб Ярик научил как бачок, чтоб тик.
Bad situation potentially becoming worse. Here's the dive from Joker. He knows RBM slowed up. Great pickoff and
повезло, 8 вечера спать не лег со мной в папер в штольне. Да! Go!
That is always going to be the risk in a situation like that. Go down and
хорош, чувак.
have someone like Joker walking in the lead. Of this reply totem team, Honey Molasses won't slow RBM down there.
Научить, как отпрашиваться у мамы, он спрашивает.
Very little time now to do so. And reply totem know how close they really are. Maru surviving as well on here.
Чтобы не спать. Естественно, он говорит.
RBM goes in, but the ball's out of control of Vatra. Maru's able to pick it up and stick it in the corner. Golden opportunity there, goes begging.
Да, давай учи его. Густо заучиха, блин. Давай, пинчик дай мне. И мне 495 очков будет. 405 очков будет.
45 seconds, all that stands between Vatra Gaming and the early exit from the World Finals. Ball back in the corner. Joker just testing mid here. Reply Totem don't need to overextend. They have the advantage, but RBM gets flattened anyway. Joker's able to dive on in. 30 seconds left. Tantalizingly far out of Vatra's reach.
Когда пин дадут?
For Vatra, and they need to get a push. The pawn is there, but it's not the result he wants to bring in. RBM picks up the slack right hook in. He's got to go aggressive here onto Maori. 15 seconds remain.
15 секунд и наши выиграют. Третий сет. В сухую, чисто. Сухая! Сухая! Мы победили. Сухая. Сухая. Тотем выиграли. Куда?
And with a sweep no less as well on the world stage, that says to me that they mean business. Many expected Reply Totem to have the edge with their LAN experience, but Vatra made it so close along the way. It could have gone a number of different ways, but today it was all about Reply Totem.
And it's as good a time as any to say that we were wrong in our prediction, right?
Teddy was right.
Cool.
Teddy
Наконец-то. Вторая, короче, берешь и говоришь, мам, завтра выходной, делаешь глазки. Потому что ты сказал, что будет только до 12 не спать. Понял? Носок, тебя научили. С тебя $1 000 000 за информацию.
They get themselves a date now with Zeta Division 1 in the quarters.
That is a tasty snack right there, isn't it? Really is.
Ахаха, типок, мамочки строил глазки, тебе ответили.
The biggest trouble with. I took my time.
Я понял, мальчик.
Just copium at this
До меня дошло.
I know, I'm trying to regain some.
Just own it like me, you know.
Кто соса? Кто соса? Носок, кто соса?
Because we said, all right, a bit of a rough couple months in that EMEA region. Whereas Vatra looks so dominant here, but this might really.
Я отвечу, что Маури. Мне пофиг. Да, Маури, первый синий, 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 первый синий. Сотку дают за МВП. Первый синий, первый синий, первый синий. А как еще, он спрашивает? 620 очков командования. Ух, еще один пинчик или спрайт, хрен его знает.
What can you say? I mean, that is just such a treat to have in store for us to come. But, you know, I'm so impressed. in just the 2 games that we've witnessed so far, how close the skill level is towards each other. You know, some of these underdogs are really cutting the mustard.
I love this. This is what the World Finals is all about.
Я чисто наугад, я не знал. Но если сильно потрудиться, то за сегодня можно и закончить вообще и Тару получить. И завтра, и послезавтра можно вообще не смотреть, если там призы не добавляются. Но я буду стримить для подписчиков. Понял.
And you know, going back to that quote from Inso as well, you know, he said, didn't he, that you know, whoever wins that match, and he has got that match now.
Ярик, тебя все понимают, не осуждают, кроме носка, конечно. Тару хочу забрать, ну конечно, все хотят. Это знаешь, как шоу общего у идофила и диабетика. Оба хотят Аленку, но нельзя. Тысяч. How many monthly finals? Я наугад, ребята, троечка. Правильный ответ. Пятерка, ребят, второе. Пятерка, 2. Пятерочку. Отвечайте пятерка. Так, такой себе скин на халяву никому не помешает, согласен. Но Джесси была получше. У меня вот друг получил одноклассника, он, ну скажем так, в каком смысле бот. Но типа ноет постоянно. Я думаю, как он получил? Он же не стал тратить гемы, потому что он не может их накопить, а мамка ему по-любому не задонатила. Типа, ну, откуда у него? Потом вспомнил, что... А потом мне сказали, что надо было эту хрень смотреть. Такой, ё-моё, так что, можно было, что ли? Так, все, я выключаю звук, потому что сейчас здесь будет... Во-первых, кто выиграет этот матч? Ребятки, ставьте на AQM. STMN я вообще такой первый раз вижу, но AQM я очень часто видел. Хоть за STMN больше, но AQM, ребятки, это проверено. Они много раз выигрывали. Я это помню. Когда мне еще с августа, с июля месяца. Я это давно помню хорошо. Они нормально выигрывали. Так. Ну, я тоже за КМ. Я выключу звук, потому что здесь копирайт. Но мне не надо, типа, копирайтская. Но я не думаю, что она много идет. Могу вам на халяву спеть эту хрень по субтитрам. Если все поставят лайк прямо сейчас. Спою песенку. Так, сейчас просто все ютуберы стримят по чемпу. Ну, понятно. А это спрей? Ну, я не знаю, я получил... Ну, я все получил. Пины и вот эту летучую мышь я получил. У меня остается только Тару забрать из основных наград. Мне еще 450. Ну, главное тебе пару не показать, и у нас... Главное тебе, если я правильно отвечу, не показать, и у нас счет сравняется. Еще минуту целую триндеть будет. Так. Ждем. Вроде концерт, блин, на больную мою голову закончился.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Brawl Stars World
Все, пришли цыгане.
We got a packed venue here today, and 2 matches already out of the way. 2 more to come. I'm ready, set, and I'm so excited.
Зажрался, лицо такое. Свинота.
That second one, phenomenal stuff. I'm not even ready myself for everything that's coming next.
They had us in the green room, and we were just
Жирненькая что-то жрал, да? Вот какие сладочки вокруг сёчек.
What is to come as we progress along to the bracket? Already in Division 1 in Reply Totem firmly locked in those quarterfinals and some pretty
Свинотка.
matches to come. Match number 3 and number 4, AC Milan Clash
Новинатион.
very soon in Stalwart Esports versus Team Queso to follow.
Так, кто сегодня играет?
Will be played out tomorrow. When I say rest of the bracket, I mean the round of 16. But wow, I mean those 2 opening matches alone just made my day, and those 2 next ones are arguably even closer matched.
Well, let's see what we thought on who is going to win those past matches as well, and catch up with how our predictions are going. You know what? The caster hive mind, it's not looking super hot right now. We're 1 for 2, but you're looking pretty nice there with the prediction of the totem victory.
All I can say is that some casters got their predictions right, some got them wrong. That's it, you know. Stay humble about it. 2 more to get correct today for the 100%.
Hey, call me wrong, but there's nothing wrong about supporting your home
А, туда тебя бот.
That said, if you want to submit some predictions of your own, which you should, go over to event.brawlstars.com, submit your predictions, interact with the stream, and give your thoughts on who's going to win the match as well.
Хрена ты с рандомами пошел, поискал бы через лупу.
There's a pretty cool skin at the end of the road.
Yeah, and pins and rewards. It's the best
viewing
experience. So big recommendation to go watch the stream.
Слили.
Well, without further ado, we got to talk about a third match of the day. AC Milan Clash versus STMN. AC Milan Clash, the first seed from the LATAM South region, versus STMN barely scraping by to claim that 3rd spot in North America.
Yeah, very different stories on those 2 sides. AQM quite dominant, right? Whether it's in the BSC, winning a whole bunch of monthly finals, 5, as a matter of fact. But even in third-party events, they were...
Поставьте лайк, если носок не лох.
STMN, a bit of a scrappy year, but they popped off in the last couple of months, and now they're at the peak of their form.
А если носок лох, то я вам дам ссылку на его канал, и вы засерете под его трансляцией комментариями. Сейчас носок, который удаляет эту трансляцию.
De retour pour notre 3e match, et il y a beaucoup d'ambiance. Paris, est-ce qu'on est prêt?
Француз, как всегда, что-то напукал. А нам непонятно.
Bonne ambiance sur place, évidemment, pour le 3e match qui va commencer ici, à Paris pour Disneyland. AC Milan Clash!
Clash Royale.
AC Milan Clash, the #1 seed from LATAM South, and in fact, the very first team to qualify for the World Finals across all regions this year.
Yeah, a very, very strong team. Have some experience in international play as well. The core team of Countdog and VTZim was ex-Affiliate at the last World Finals in 2021. Got top 16 there, eliminated 1st round. At MSI this year, with Moitab joining the team as well, they left top 8, so both big international events, they ended up losing the 1st round. They are hoping to get so much more, and they've grinded the entire year to get there. It's their chance to make it happen now.
Unfortunate outcomes for this team, but they
ждем наконец-то уже скоро начнется.
They got a little shown up by Zeta Division at the last World Final. Of course, Zeta Division went on to take the entire thing. Now facing, of course, is STMN. STMN, they made it to the round of 8 last year. Definitely going to be probably a more convincing game for these guys. We'll have to see how they face versus STMN, our next team here. Welcome them to the stage.
Et leurs adversaires, évidemment, il est du côté nord-américain.
Ну что ты на французском говоришь? Мне насчет французов анекдот напомнили. Приезжает, короче, французский посол к русскому царю Александру Третьему нашему. И говорит, а правда, что царь, а правда, что у вас люди гречку едят? Он говорит, правда. А у нас только ее скотине дают. Царь подумал, отвечает. А правда, что у вас во Франции лягушек едят? Мессия. Он говорит, да, правда. А что? Да я твою маму недавно на днях. Она шквакала от удовольствия, вот что. Of their form right now, and they've had some disappointing results in international events in the past. They are not only the best team in NA, but maybe even the best team in the world.
I mean, this team, a lot of people seem to think could go all the way, but maybe it's just NA vibes getting to their head a little bit. We'll have to see whether the NA vibes are enough to propel this team into a victory versus an extremely scrappy and extremely consistent roster. That said, STMin, you said they were in their best form of the year, it looks like, and I completely agree. They've taken some very dominant victories, especially landing at the top of some brackets in some first places in the last month or so. So, will they be able to generate that into some more momentum today? We'll only be able to find out once we get.
Я так понимаю, ты мама хахах писал, потому что духовки не хватало, да? Носок.
That's LAN event experience, and sure, AQM, they've had their fair share of experience, but as I mentioned, ended up, leaving rather early most of the time. On the side of SCMN, it is quite a bit better. World Finals was top 8, lost to Reply Totem. We know what those guys.
Не, я с головы вспомнил. Я не читал. Но я знаю, ты со Смехича это читаешь? Смехич? Канал Смехичи, типа смайлик крутой с очками, да? Угадал? Понял.
North American team when it comes to LAN events.
No doubt, these guys, they are just crazy at LAN, and well, what do you know? We're at LAN. We'll have to see how their previous victories translate over into this big arena. Definitely a big.
Ну, пока никто ничего не говорят, разорвем шоу-паузу еще не на анекдотом, я тоже вспомнил. Так, значит, муж ушел на работу, жена осталась с сыном дома. Жена думала, что сын ушел погулять, а сын спрятался в шкафу. Она уже принимала любовника. Тут неожиданно возвращается отец. Жена прячет любовника в шкаф. Сын говорит любовнику, темно здесь. Он отвечает, ага, у меня есть мяч, это хорошо. Хотите купить? Нет, не хочу. А тут говорит, мой папа снаружи. Сколько? $250. Тот протягивает ему купюру $250. И тот сидит, ждет, пока муж уйдет, и уходит. Так же самое происходит еще раз. Так же самое пацан в шкафу, мужик тоже в шкафу, и говорит, темно здесь. Мужик говорит, ага, у меня есть футболка, ну либо там кеды. А он говорит, мужик, помню, прошлый раз говорит, сколько? Тот говорит $750. Тот, помню, что было в прошлый раз, отдает $750 и все. Потом сын говорит, отец говорит сыну, сын, пошли покатаем футбольчик. Тот говорит, пап, я не могу, я продал мяч и кроссовки. Тот говорит, за сколько? За 250 и $750. Это же больше, чем они стоят. Иди, тебе нужно ходить в церковь и покаяться. Тот приходит в церковь, заходит в исповедальню, там священник, а он ему говорит, темно здесь. Тот ему говорит, бля, вот только давай не начинай опять. Так, что тут? Ну, это не такой смешной. Ой, молчи уже, так. А зато более смешнее этот... как его? Уф, у меня почти скин уже. Молодец. У нас скоро тоже почти будет скин.
than that and have higher expectations from them. Love the basketball and, you know, NA sports jerseys.
На Clash Royale.
Really bringing the vibes from home, making themselves comfortable on the stage.
I mean, that's what it's all about, right? You gotta bring it back. I mean, the Brawl House was quite comfy here, but if you're able to wear some comfortable sort of athleisure on the stage, then that can maybe ameliorate some of the tension.
Дед не мог уснуть, повернул голову до щелчка и спал как убитый.
No, still. STMN, I mean, definitely the focus of the discussion here for the English-speaking community, but for AQM, right, we talked about favorites here, probably the favorite of the Spanish-speaking community, and when it comes to Latin America overall.
Ну, говорю, дед не мог уснуть, повернул голову до щелчка и спал как убитый.
You know, you had to make odds yourself before we see the predictions from everyone at home. What would yours be? Is it, you know, 50-50, 60-40? Where you at?
Going 65-35, but favoring STMN. I really do think that no matter where this match goes, no matter which way it goes, whether it goes to AQM, whether it goes to Stamina, it's going to be a set 5. It's got to be close. These are two absolute powerhouses, and even speaking to some of the players from STMN particularly, they seem to think that it is going to be an extremely close match, and I would rate that as definitely a good assessment.
Как написать букву К? Телефон упал. Жопа. Все.
This is BSC, and you took number 3 seed, and you're going to be faced versus a very high-seeded team in another region, and you deserve the high seed if you are the first to qualify in your region.
That's a very valid point because, yeah, they kind of brought this up on themselves, you know, with that slow start of the year and some shakiness in the mid part 2.
Так, что тут на сок? Я спрей не выдали этот. Бывает в жизни огорчения.
Something that I'm sure makes you very happy too, ready, and they've come here to perform. I think that, you know, they now have experience behind them.
Доска разрывает просто.
Come here confident and aiming at much more than just that first round. It all starts here. The team that loses here, no matter how ambitious they are, it ends here for 2022.
ПМСК 9 часов уже.
Very hungry teams that have had some great successes in the past, and
спать хочу, капец. Не могу. Так. Кстати, мне тоже спрей не выдали. Кинули.
I see some tribe signs, not a whole lot of STMN or AQM, but at least you got to appreciate the competitive spirit of the live audience here. It's been a while since we've had one of those, and it's a wonderful spectacle to behold.
Well, here we go. Shooting Star is going to be our first.
Хорош, чел. Ярик, это, конечно, то. Хорошо, потом. Завтра. Утром, вечером, мудренее. Пока что смотри стрим. Ой. Давайте, ребятки, я на вас почку поставил. Носок детдом.
What is it gonna be? Gotta go with the Sprout and assessing the bans here as well on the side of AC Milan Clash, Max, Gus, and Brock on the side of STMN.
Так, надо Discord сервер рот закрыть. То пишут много. Понос словесный, блин. Фу, матерщина. Фу, вот боже. Ливниз с разговора. Не может 25-й до динамайки апнуть, на последнем сливается. Ох, боже.
To open up those walls, or just any sort of clutch pull that turns around the lead, gives you the advantage. That is going to be the chance to do so, and a bit of a comfort pick for STMN too.
Certainly, and it's here on the Gene. Here comes the Nanny as well, and this one actually is shocking to me that we have not seen this brawler banned out or even first picked. Actually, this is an absolute skinny brawler for this map, and if you don't first pick it, then your enemy is going to go for it. And STMN, I would say, definitely wise for going for this brawler. It is really one of the safest picks that you can go with, especially because you can get kills from max health on an enemy brawler without even putting yourself in danger. Get real up close to them, and with autofocus, you can even one-shot some brawlers.
Absolutely, and I think the reason they went Sprout over Nani first pick is just because of that Piper man, right?
Oh, крутой, крутой.
Very, very scared of a Nani. We'll see the B actually as the answer here from AC Milan Clash, trying to
забрать. Зашел я в игру. Нас носком кинули на спрей.
good idea, to be fair, just because you never know if there's a bit of a more aggressive or tanky idea for that final pick of STM.
Пошел нафиг, носочек. Лошара с пайперами играет. А тут пайпер забанили. Жалко, что нельзя в ШД пайпер банить. Да, носок. Ух, жесткий прям в рифму. Артем, скажи носок.
Yeah, I like that Carl pick a whole lot. I mean, the mobility, there's just not that much that will counter it.
Артем, скажи носок.
On the blue side of things, and Sprout is going to be vulnerable.
Неправильно.
He's going to have to be very careful. Good discipline on that super, but here we go. AC Milan Clash versus STMN, and Blue Star obviously picked up by the call. That gadget to early on secure the lead.
Always practically a free Blue Star when you have a gadget at the ready. Here comes the peep already from the backlines. It's actually going to be breaking open a wall. Not all of the walls broken open. Motep's still going to be clinging on for dear life around this one obstacle. Meanwhile, around the right side, they're really moving back for STMN.
Пин работает.
Find themselves in danger, but they seem to be quite comfortable on this very defensive position.
Yeah, good pressure from STMN to push them back and create a little bit more space.
Что же, слил катку опять, что ли, а?
Zar not quite gonna go for it just yet. Bobby is low as well. Needs to be incredibly careful. One shot from VTZM would turn.
По себе людей не судят.
It's gonna be a trade, but STMN with that blue star.
Могу помочь?
Them a one-star lead now. Let's see if AC Milan Clash can strike back as we head in the final minute of this first game.
Bobby's patiently waiting inside
of
this bush.
Maybe trying to
threaten Coyote or Motep, but they can both counter out.
Так, ребятки, пин работал 3 минуты назад, либо минут назад. Чекайте пин. Ух, жесткий.
Also pinching things in. Great kill from OG on the Coyote Dog. Zar now trying to get some position around the right side. And here comes the peep. It's going to be going for VT Zim or Motep. Either one. An attempted tank. Wow! Amazing piloting there. Another pull in. And Coyote Dog goes down. STMN, they're leading by such a large margin. Great kill from Zar. And AC Milan Clash have a huge margin to make up.
What a team!
Туда.
9 stars in the lead. And AC Milan Clash. This is their final shot as an answer. 15 seconds left.
Так, а кто первый этот матч выиграл, а?
It's taken out of the picture. Just a couple more seconds here, and STMN should be taking that first game unless they can eliminate OG and Zar. They are being pinched. OG is low. Coyote goes in. Doesn't find either. That's gonna be first game going towards STMN.
Попроси вежливо. Вежливо, носок, вежливо. Давай, пока я добрый. Ладно, тогда слушай анекдот. Ух ты, у тебя получше анекдот будет. Значит, идет по Чернобыльскому лесу красная шапочка. Рост 6 метров, обувь с нога 49 размера, и ей волк, который забрел в Чернобыльский лес. А его встречает красная шапочка. Поднимает за шиворот и говорит: это самое, ты что, хотел меня сожрать? Боже упаси, я вегетарианец. А может быть тогда чпокнуть меня хотел? Боже упаси, я гей! Она медленно его за шиворот опускает на уровень пояса и говорит: тогда соси.
To save them from losing this first set.
Have to commend the great dodges from Coyote so far. OG certainly a tough opponent to face versus. Here comes the hedge in on the left side, and Zar just keeping himself alive, popping that protective pirouette to take a little bit more damage. Here comes the ego run the left side. Big pinch here from BTZM. Bobby's all alone. 1-2 kills for AC Milan Clash. They are still a significant margin behind STMN though.
Yeah, it's been OG getting so many
Так,
kills
пин
this
работает?
game, sitting on
Пин
6
работает,
stars
ребят.
now.
Пин работает. А задят вот ты ответишь. Понял?
They say that caster shouldn't talk about the draft, but I think we need
Так,
to talk
пару
about
сек.
this one. Nanny, it was shown in the stars, it was shown in the gameplay, and even in the pick phase, it was an omen of success for STMN. This pick worked absolute wonders for the guys, going completely undefeated that entire round. OG, he had 7 stars in the blue star at the end of the game. Just amazing draft and consistent stuff from STMN.
He had 7 stars in the blue stars, and that's considering the fact he used his speed mostly to open up the map. It's not like he was getting like all the kills with his speed. No, he was just hitting those freaky shots from afar, getting that chip damage too.
Так, все, я вернулся, только зачем-то бандикам запустил. Во. Ну, на ноской помогать не буду. У него своя сила. Прибудет с ним сила. Могу за него помолиться. Свечку за плохой телефона его поставить, потому что он его нахрен разобьет. Что-то я чувствую.
Really overcommitting a bit too, and AC Milan Clash were punished big time.
Big time, and they need to make sure that they make this happen in the draft in the upcoming set, because I think that's really where the problem started to arise for them, off of the neglect of picking Nanny. Now, I think though that this is very, very well known in Brawl. It's clear that they were going for something experimental and thought that they would be able to diff the Nanny, and at points they were able to mechanics diff on a few things, get great dodges in there, but at the end of the day, you really cannot contend with the team constantly getting max damage on you and one-shotting some of your brawlers.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as that draft was completed, we could kind of tell that STMN came in with an advantage there. I don't think it was unwinnable for AC Milan Clash, but it was so well executed by STMN. And that's the thing, when you get undrafted, the only way you win is if there are some execution mistakes. If you start, absolutely popping off, it is possible to come back. But STMN, they were just super solid. Gene pools connecting way more often than not.
О себе люди не судят. Донатер, я тебя только сегодня встретил, доверять сильно не могу. Ты можешь создать свой собственный сервер, передать на него права. Этот сервер у меня не настолько большой. Я потом просто сюда скину людям, кто надо будет, тот зайдет.
Yet another map where it's going to be prioritized to stay alive, get
Понял.
some long-range kills. Not going to see Nanny, most likely, but when it comes to picks, Rico is always going to be a fairly strong pick up mid. Also, have to watch
Я
out
понимаю,
for those
что,
throws.
может,
It's
ты
almost
хочешь
as if this
нормально,
map
но,
was made for Grom in
понимаешь,
some
если ты
regards.
сделаешь и
The
все,
cross right down the middle,
и
and
все
Brawl
по-честному,
also one
то
of those
тогда
that
у меня
you
будут
always have to
большие
watch out
основания
for.
тебе
Tick
доверять.
especially a threat at the moment with that new gear that gives his super even more health than Tick has.
Носок, выключи микро, у тебя шумит что-то. Опять же.
For STMN, it was banned out in the first set, and here's the interesting thing. I think a lot of the brawlers we saw either banned or played out in the previous set are very much playable on Bell's Rock. I mean,
Давай, я в тебя верю. Свечку за упокой нести телефона. Всякий скорость. Да господи, я что, разорваться должен? В каком смысле роль админов? Ты хочешь, чтобы за то, что ты мне сделал сервер, я тебя на админа повысил?
Yeah, and they might have to rely on Bobby to break open some of those walls at the beginning of the match. They really want to utilize Piper's true
Нет, не
power.
заткнусь, пошел
Unless, of
нафиг,
course, they
носок.
decide to go for a wall breaker of their own, but the options, they're not too amazing. Colonel Revs can break open some walls, but even then, he's gonna have to work for it pretty hard, just like Piper. Here comes the Gus as well, and this is gonna be a strong power pick if they decide to compare, or rather combine the shield with their last pick, which they can go for an aggressive brawler, as long as STMN doesn't prepare adequately.
Ну, я понял. Я понял, что там будут роли в DS-сервере, но ты хочешь, чтобы за то, что ты сделаешь мне сервер, чтобы ты был администратором. Но если ты сделаешь и отдашь мне права все, что я буду полным владельцем, и сделаешь роль владельца, то есть вместо владельца добавишь роль YouTube и добавишь роль владелец. Чтоб, если в двоих ролях сразу участвовать нельзя, то ставишь меня во владельцах. Ну, либо в Ютубе. А лучше в Ютубе. И там у Ютуба все права. Да, ну если ты сделаешь бесплатно это, и тогда еще у меня будут все основания тебе доверять. И может даже может помогу тебе даже канал развить, если захочешь. Хоть у тебя нет видео, но поможем. Может даже носок поможет.
unless they decide they're going to go for something like Griff, it's only going to be Piper on their side. They're going to have to play wisely.
Давай, я верю. Ладно, все, я верю.
Fang is typically one that comes to mind here, but if OG does
Удачи
have
тебе.
those sandbags
Тьфу,
down,
тьфу, тьфу.
he's going to be countering out Piper, he's going to be countering out Gus, and he's going to be countering out Fang.
Yeah, I'm assuming that they are gonna want to go for something.
Тьфу-тьфу-тьфу, говорят, чтоб в смысле не это, дурачок. Тьфу-тьфу-тьфу, чтоб на обратное не было. У нас, вот у моей, допустим, на работе в больнице никому ничего обычно не желают. Поэтому тьфу-тьфу-тьфу, чтоб не накаркал. Сколько у него сабов? У нас косарь 300, у меня косарь 200. Повезло. Так, у нас батл начинается, ребятки. Настраиваемся.
Motep now coming up the right side. BTZM opting to take that mid lane, but already the walls are starting to break open, and Squeak relies a lot on having those corridors to
хорошая карта.
control around for the entire game. Already a lot of AQM backed into the very middle of the map.
Скажи, когда пин я пошел сервер делать и слушать. Пин пропал только что, поэтому появится... О, пин, давай, мужик, пин. Пин, сразу пин нажимай, потом скажу. Я всем говорю. Так, минус 9. Да. Накаркал. Ничего не желаю, короче, тебе в следующей катке. Понял, носок? Так, все, забирают первую, я думаю, синие заберут. Да, в спине первый... инвалид. Туда ботов.
Goes down, tries not to beat too many supers, but I mean Motep is going to carry it over for the Gus.
Well, already though, two walls have been broken open on STM inside.
Мужик, я там хочу завести телеграм. Я уже его создал. Сервер. Будешь админом ты у меня, братик. Что-то я чувствую и там. На двух серверах. У меня два телеграма. Сервера. Сейчас о них никто не знает. Знаю только я. И носок знал.
Bobby left on the battlefield. There's the kill onto VTZim. It's a 1v2. Bobby has the rocket fuel at the ready, but it might not be the right moment for this.
Yeah, he's just gonna go for a shot. Doesn't connect it either.
Туда.
That's a beautiful.
Первый раунд выигран. Туда. Хорош клэш. Лучше.
Phenomenal performance from him. Exactly what they needed on the side of AQM. Again.
Носок, как там катка прошла? Если играешь, то не отвечай. Не пасть.
Absolutely has, and can only expect that in the next game already. Wall broken open on the left side, not Kyodog's side, if you might notice that. Wow, great kill there with the return to sender. It's brought down to a 3v2. Kyodog needs the kill. Here's a homemade recipe. Nope, Czar stays alive, but down goes OG. Bobby on the left side still has to face versus Motep. He's outranged. Czar also colossal damage dealt to him, and here comes the supply drop around the left side. Big damage in on Motep, but he's invincible, it looks like. Kyodog falls, and it's all down to Motep to clutch up this round.
Wow, I thought that again, AQM, we're going to be able to turn things around, but Motep in that 1v2, that's going to be a difficult one. Looking desperately for some connections to get that super, but it's not going to happen. STMN won't let it. The first round, this time around, is going their side.
VTZim once again at mid, ready to lay down some of that residue to slow things down, but he's going to have to get into a good position for it. Here is the asteroid belt, or rather the gadget from Colonel Ruffs, now blocking some things out. Residue already at mid as well. Great kill from Kyodog onto Bobby, brought down to a 3v2.
Пин должен заработать. Ребятки, у меня стоит очень большой проект, когда Носок купит микрофон. Он уже заказал, скоро придет. Мы запускаем очень... Не знаю, если он захочет, он может его снимать со мной в будущем. Но не думаю, что он захочет столько времени платить. Но это большой проект, я думаю, он выйдет в январе. Это очень большой проект. Сейчас ничего о нем сказать не могу, но Носок об этом проекте знает, он будет в нем участвовать, как минимум. Снимать не знаю, но это точно. Пока что это не работает.
Just one round away from taking the second set already. Need the kills here. Here's the residue around on the right side. Czar still left high and dry without any
Донатер, тебе нужна вообще помощь с продвижением канала? Мы тебе быстро его апнем. Как минимум до сотки, это изи. Если носок вернется, поможет тебе и мне, что у нас будут нормальные роли, свой общий сервер. МБ, хорошо, братан. Главное, чтобы у тебя был хороший микрофон, хороший комп. Ну ладно, печально. Куда ты уходишь? Не, давай следи за чемпом. Ладно, делай сервер, пока что не буду. Пин работает, я забираю 700 очков, и что это я забираю? 100 жетонов, неплохо.
Big tag there onto Motep. Can they finish him off? And final connection from Bobby and SCMN. One more round and they double down. Secure that second set. That would be absolutely massive for them. Off the bat, a peep heading their way. Kyodog super low HP but still alive. That's something he's going to be very grateful for.
Unfortunate there for OG, though it takes a while to get that first super. Bobby also getting pinched between a lot of enemies. What? How is he able to dodge this? He's just out of range. Down he goes to Motep, and it's brought down to a 3v2.
Eventually, they do find that connection onto Bobby, and this is not a good situation for STMN. 2 supers available for AC Milan Clash. They will make sure they only use them if they need to. Want to carry them over to round number 3.
Отлично. Вон можно начать будет стримить. Микрофон попроси их купить за 500 гривен. Это оптимальный. Самый хороший, я думаю. Я брал свой за косарь, но они сейчас вроде чуть-чуть дешевеют. Микрофон будет все. Новые друзья мне не подмешают, новые знакомства. Носку тоже. Кстати, носок. А что там этот карасик? Карасик, карасик. Я сам куплю, сейчас уже серв кину здесь. Понял. Понял.
Going in, that is going to be the first kill. Motep one shot. Can they find that final connection? They will. It's only Kyodog left alive in a 1 versus 3, and Bobby takes him down 2-0 now in favor of STMN.
Not a dominant set by any means.
Так, пока что пин не работает.
However, this has been such an even match, especially coming off of the second set. Knockout, it never fails to deliver, but the nanny doesn't seem to fail to deliver either. That game-winning kill as well, and we saw it in set number 1, we saw it in set number 2. I'm not going to go ahead and say that we're not bound to see it in set number 3 because...
С котом я давно не общаюсь, и так.
I love what I'm seeing from both teams here. The strategy of opening up your side of the map, not something completely new, but something that is very welcome to see. SCMN, they their walls, so they have more space to navigate, more space to juke and dodge their opponent's shots. But I love the fact that AQM, they didn't care. They were still like taking those duels and taking those fights, trying to get those out mechanics and some great positioning as well. I think Motep had a fantastic game, as well as Kyodog on the Piper. But it was still
Это самое, ты мне не выдал еще одно право.
I mean, DPS diff, kills-wise, it's incredibly close, but SCMN just barely gonna be taking this one.
Так, или это, подожди, я чувствую сам,
Despite not taking the W overall, the homemade recipes one after the other to clutch up an entire round, though, was simply beautiful, and it looks like the Piper pick paid off in that specific matchup. The others, however, didn't seem to come through, and we saw, actually, the Nanny breaking open so many walls, as well as Brock making the same thing happen. And while it was a risk, it paid off for STMN as well. It seems like they're very in tune with what risks they're willing to take and how exactly they might turn out.
Yeah, one of the things I want to compliment as well about AQM has been their ability to trade. You know, how many times did we see an instant kill from STMN early in the round, and somehow ACMN and Clash are able to pull through, turn that back into a 2v2, keep it competitive. That's the reason it was so close, because STMN, they were in the driver's seat, but ACMN and Clash did a great job at adapting. Not quite good enough, and this is going to be their final chance. They need to win 3 sets in a row here, otherwise their stay at the World Finals is going to be short-ended.
With STMN already having 2 set victories under their belt, they're simply 1 game away from already being at a match point. And we've seen a sweep earlier today, but it didn't go quite this fast. AQM, they gotta bring down momentum. However, Brawl, that's not really one of those where you expect the momentum to crank down at all. If anything, though, historically, Brawl has actually been STMN's weakest game mode. They only have a 44% win rate on this mode. And when we head over to AQM, they have an 83%
it's
win
their
rate
best
on
mode.
It is their best mode.
Yeah, that is their chance to start a comeback. It's going to be right here, right now, which is a good thing, because it's their final chance. Gil, first pick on the side of ACMN Clash, as we see an Otis immediately on the side of STMN as a response, just reading out the bans quickly as well. Search Barley and Squeak will be banned out by AQM. STMN, they really don't want to see any B, any Ruffs, or any Penny.
It's also very clear that AC Milan Clash, they don't want Gale to go over to the other side, more importantly, because, well, that can seriously ruin their plans of getting a tank pick on their side. It's definitely, oh no, and here's Buster, and we saw how that one worked out earlier. It is such a dominant pick. How do AC Milan Clash plan to respond to this? Because Zar, if he wants to push in, he can simply throw up that super, throw up that shield, and deny any possibility of Gale pushing him back.
I like the confidence from STMN. That is definitely gonna be an interesting third set. Super Beach coming up soon, as we are waiting for the 4th pick, second for AC Milan Clash. We'll get 2 in a row now to complete their comp. We'll be seeing a Spike. All right, not the flashiest brawler, one of the most iconic of Brawl Stars, to be fair. It's an interesting one here, not really, you know, countering anyone per se, but it doesn't really get countered either. So it's going to be a bit more passive, getting some of that damage from the forward chip, damage from the curveball. I assume they will run. Fertilizer is not something you never see, but I would probably expect, you know, the traditional curveball at this point.
No doubt. Here comes a Max as well, and that's going to be an attempt at sort of getting right up in Zar's face, as well as putting a lot of pressure on Bobby. I don't really see how the Max comps works out without just considering how Gale might operate as well. Gale gets right up in your face. If Zar doesn't have a super, that could be a bad situation. But so far, Buster, it's just looking incredibly convincing on the side of STMN. Otis is going to be able to slow down any kind of Max pushes in as well if he has his super. Super denial is going to be probably the most important thing for AC Milan Clash here. There's the, oh no, not the Pogo tank.
Wow.
What is going on?
Wow. I mean, Team Keizo haven't even played yet, and STMN are bringing the cheese here, as we are going to see Buster, Poco. Do you think they're just going to walk forward towards that goal, get healed, have a shield down? I mean, I could see that happening.
I would roughly estimate that that is a plan. If they also stay right on top of each other, they can passively charge Buster's super. Here they come, and no, for more of a lane situation. Zar, though, is going to be face versus Kyodog at mid, working at a similar range as well, but not quite the same speed. Mutual takedown, a little pass up to the left side where Bobby used to be. Could have been a goal at the beginning of the game, and it's very clear that that was a strategy that STMN is going for. Now they need to hang back and regroup.
Yeah, VTZM's positioning is poor there. Gonna get pinched and taken out. Bobby might want to move that ball around. And is gonna pass it indeed to OG. Zart now in control, pushing forwards, but no big opportunities just yet for either side. Zart has his heal. That could be clutch if Bobby wants to go aggressive. Heal is gonna be popped indeed. Kyodog quite low HP in the back line, so it's Motep, a great super from Motep to slow things down. Nearly takes down Bobby as well, and I think he is rocking Fertilizer indeed. Interesting decision here. Not my favorite, but at a pro level, they dodge curveballs so well that sometimes it doesn't even matter.
And sometimes it throws you a bit off your momentum, but here comes the momentum. A little speed there from Coyote. He was right in the right position to intercept that ball. Lots of damage coming in. Great pushback from VT Zim. This ball's locked in on the right side. Gale still remains alive, but Bobby's going for it. If he can take the damage from Motep, he'll be able to push it in, but there's another stun as well from VT Zim. Another super laid down by Motep, and this is looking like a successful defense for AC Milan Clash. Spike, he's just one of the best defenders in this mode. He can throw fertilizer on the guy. He seems to stay alive way, way better, even getting close to forever.
Man, what an attempt from STMN, but AC Milan Clash, their defense is absolutely on point. I mean, it's what you expect when you're bringing a Gale to the table. Is there going to be a stun here from BTZim? Yeah, indeed, gets some nice connection. No follow-up though, and Bobby knows that he's not going to be stunned against any wolves in that position. Just really good movement on his end to secure that elimination. Let's see if that is going to be enough. As STMN, they're still trying to get that that big push we've been waiting for. There is going to be the solo screech to go for some damage. VTZim with a stun onto Bobby, a follow-up heal from Czar. Bobby claims the kill on VTZim, a 3v2, a chance here for STMN to close it out, but Bobby can't quite pick up the ball when he has his shield up. And for now, it seems more and more likely we're going to be heading towards overtime.
Motep pinched around the left side. It's looking like a 3v2 favoring STMN, but still, VTZim refuses to budge. He has a super, he has a gadget as well. If he needs to defend the ball, there's a pass up to mid. The speed as well. This ball could get cornered. VTZim goes down, though. Zar barely stays alive. No, denial by Coyote. He falls to the super from OG, and OG tries to get this ball. He's gonna have to do something tricky versus Motep, but instead, passes it over to mid to get some better positioning of this ball. VTZim is ready to play defense around it, and now some offense as he looks to push back any chances at a charge from STMN.
Yeah, VTZim spawning with that super was huge, otherwise that could just have been a walk-in. Coyote, incredibly low HP, needs to be careful. A super from Motep to slow things down a little bit around the center of the map as VTZim is muted, ends up going down to OG on the right-hand side. This is a big opportunity for STMN to get to match point. Can AC Milan Clash's defense hold up? Still a 2v3 here. A nice kill from VTZim. That Spike super might just do the job. The super pass OG, and he gets it in! What a goal from OG, the team synergy from STMN. And I mean, even the crowd can't believe it. That was so well calculated by STMN, and this is what set both teams apart.
Gameplay like we have never seen before. Leave it to STMN to make it happen and bring us to match point. An incredibly close game, but AC Milan Clash find themselves at the brink of defeat. They had a strong showing in the first game, but they have just flipped the narrative in order to stay in this competition.
This is a chance here for STMN to, oh my god, what a team wipe. How do they make that happen? STMN just shut down the entire roster of AC Milan Clash, and now all they need to do is defend for 2 minutes, find another goal. Do call it, but they are absolutely in the driver's seat here. AC Milan Clash, not the slightest room for mistakes here.
They can still make it happen, though. They have Coyote speed, which can serve them amazing positioning. Motep has a super. There's a block around mid. Big stun onto Bobby. Zar's the one defender left. A slot into the goal, and it's all tied up here.
Exactly what Clash needed, but we still need to be careful. A single goal from STMN, and it's all over for this year of the BSC for AC Milan Clash. Speed, bombed by Coyote, a shield from Bobby as well to move forwards. VTZim has a stun. If he can connect it, actually not quite gonna connect any stuns. Low HP on the right-hand side. Coyote falls, it's only VTZim. Doesn't quite corner it. What a blunder. That's gonna cost them the match. STMN take it home with one clean 3-0. It got messier in there, don't get me wrong, but that ending was just absolutely phenomenal.
Telepathic control there towards the end. Pass me the ball, and I'll end it very swiftly and painlessly here, says STMN. Surgical gameplay from the guys. The Buster came through in the end. The Cheese reigns supreme, and AQM, no response on their side. A nearly perfect 3-0 sweep. Only one game going over to the side of AQM. Unfortunate showing here from AQM as well. They win out first round in the last World Finals to the World Champions. Then win out in the first round in MSI. And once again, go down in the first round to STMN.
Man, what a curse on that roster of AC Milan Clash. Third international event where round one, they end up going home. Look at the nerves at the end. VTZM, he wanted to corner it up behind the twister, but just kind of messed things up, and you can see from their reaction that's not what was planned out. What a showing though from STMN, and even though it wasn't perfect, there were some very messy games and some that AC Milan Clash frankly could have ended up taking.
No doubt.
STMN just, you know, just a little bit more on edge, just a little bit more sharp and ready to play under so much pressure, because truly they are absolute LAN demons, and they showed that again today.
Not just land demons, but also just amazing drafters, as we can see, because if you can get away with the Buster and Poco, what is going on there? I said it, it's mind control at this point, and it all came to fruition there towards the end. The little pass out of the corner with what is one of the most solid defenses in the game. Defense there by the Twister. Just stellar gameplay by STMN, and STMN comes into this expecting a very close match. 3-2 either way, and they come away with a 3-0 with only one loss game-wise. That is domination.
Yeah, what a crazy result here. We are going to be seeing our MVP, and it is going to be OG actually. Wow, he had a phenomenal performance off the bat, whether it was on the Nani or